Wake up, pancreas. I'm Danny,
And I'm Alex.
and welcome to episode 4 of Wake Up, Pancreas.
Well, this is another episode, and in this episode, we're going to mostly talk about our busy day, our family's busy day. So we started off our day at 9 o'clock, and that's our first soccer game. Our little girl has a soccer game, and it was just complete and utter exhaustion.
Let's be honest, we actually started before 9 o'clock, trying to get the kids up, rushing around, get breakfast in their bellies, find shoes, socks, gloves, and you name it, because temperature outside was in the 30s today.
It was in the 30s, but, the first thing I do is go downstairs, make sure that we have pizza, and put some pizza in the microwave, give that to the kids while we make ourselves an oven. Pizza, by the way, is going to be a total of, 22 carbs for Marcelle.
And then her game started at 9. And then one thing we noticed today, Marcelle absolutely loves soccer. Like the joy in her face when she plays, she just runs that field. She has a really good vision of it. And she definitely seems to be skilled beyond her young 5 years old.
Yes.
Going to the Olympics one day.
Of course.
Of course she
Yes,
is.
yes.
Next Mia Hamm.
Okay.
But no, we noticed that she just seemed like absent-minded today when she was out there. One way I described it to Alex was that she seemed like a sheep without a shepherd. Like she just looking up at the sky and just dazed.
Yeah, she was definitely looking at us a lot. And maybe it had to do because she did say come back. She came back halftime saying that she did get hit somewhere, right? And the kids are, by the way, a little bit way bigger than her at this soccer field, and she's over there trying to muscle in, but half the time she's just getting pushed around. Even though we're like, go Marcelle, go! And just like parents, you could imagine us just yelling back and forth and telling her to go hit the ball.
Yeah, you're right, she was staring at us a lot, and she said, Mom, I got kicked. Well, where'd you get kicked? I got kicked in my thigh right here, and it hurt. I said, okay, are you good? She said, yeah, I'm good. But we didn't know that, so the whole time she's kind of looking at us like, what's wrong with her? What's her sugar?
Yes, the first question is, what's her sugar? Is she right? Is the weather have something to do with her sugar? By the way, it's 30 degrees, right?
It was 30 degrees
30
today.
degrees outside, so she's bundled up, and we're thinking, but it's still windy, and there's no trees or anything to stop the wind. So we're thinking, you know what, maybe her sugar's really high, or maybe her sugar's really low at this time.
And then her earmuffs were falling down over her eyes. I'm like, is that what's distracting her? Like, something's going on right now. But then when we looked at her glucose on her Dexcom, it was at, 324. So I look at it, and she looks at me, and I'm like, it's not your sugar.
No.
I was like, it is just you being you.
Well, that's a good thing about exercise. It's starting to bring her sugar down, right? So that's a plus.
Definitely. Exercise has a huge impact on her sugar. I mean, initially, so a lot of times we'll give her extra carbs and let her go into exercise high now so that she's not dropping immediately. So she was 324. Within an hour of playing soccer, she was dropping to 83 and going down, like the arrow was showing. So she dropped significantly. And she'll actually show those benefits all the way into tomorrow and sometimes the next day, depending on how much exercise she's actually done.
That is true, and that's one of those things we almost have to balance throughout the entire day. She also had a birthday party to go to, and her birthday party was around, I would say, what time is it? Like 12? No. So our son's birthday party was at 12:45, right? And then her birthday party was at 2:30.
So we had 2 birthday parties today. So we had to play 2 soccer games, right from soccer games, jump to 2 birthday parties. So we had to split ways right after soccer so that Alex could take Marcelle and I could take our son, Alex. Yes, very confusing. Little Alex, big Alex is what we just refer to them in the family because we have 2 Alexes. But how was the birthday party with her?
Pretty good. So we went to a gymnastics gym, and most of the time, once again, she's jumping around, going all over the place, and I'm basically just monitoring her sugar the entire time. Sometimes I forget to talk to the parents. Obviously, I said hello, hi, thank you for inviting us, and I say thank yous to everybody there, and I try to greet everybody. But at the same time, I'm trying to monitor her sugar, because straight off the back, she goes straight into run mode. So I'm trying to, what was she sitting at? At the time, she was in the hundreds, which is, lucky for us, one of those key numbers like, yes, check it off, we're in the hundreds. It only lasted, I would say, about close to an hour or so that she was in the hundreds. And then she started going down, And in between that last hour, they started eating pizza. She ate 2 slices of pizza, and she ate ice cream cake. Now, you guys have to remember, pizza, for the most part, depending on the size, I have to guesstimate. Because it doesn't come with a label in the back saying this is 22 carbs. So I'm guessing, okay, so there's 2 slices of pizza, so both of them together, I'm going to go with 44 carbs.
Was it thin crust, fluffy crust,
No,
Chicago? What was it?
It was pepperoni and pineapples, and I'm not even counting the pineapples at that point, so I got to almost count all the pineapples as she's trying to eat them as fast as she can.
So given that her sugar was going down, did you cut any of those carbs out when you were counting to allow her to come up a little?
So it cuts it for me for the most part, but at the same time, I do understand what you're saying, but then she's having ice cream on top of it. Right? So I'm like, and it's going at the same time, I see the arrow going down. So I'm in that dilemma is, obviously, we got to treat her. But if she goes too low, then it won't treat her at all.
Can you talk to the audience a little bit about the comment that you made that it takes it off for her? Okay, you talk about that, the Omnipod, and that how it kind of takes into account her low sugar?
Well, it kind of does this magical math in this little computer brain of it. And it literally just subtracts how many carbs she actually eats.
It does. So I'm going to expand on that a little bit more for those of you that are not familiar with the Omnipod, and probably most pods out there, I would say. Yes, I am very, very grateful, and I bet, Alex, I could say the same for you. We do not have to do these long math equations. It's not just counting carbs. The computer does it for us, but if her sugar is lower, it will actually take off some of the insulin that it's supposed to give her for the food that we're giving her. So we would say, oh, she's having 20 carbs, but if her sugar's on the lower end, it does its math in the background. It says, yeah, we're not going to give her 1 unit for 20 carbs like we normally would. Instead, we're going to take off X number and only give her, say, half a unit. But the computer, the pod, does that piece, not us.
It's called magic. Yes.
It is magic. What a magical world that diabetes has become, which, from my understanding, talking to people in like their 40s and 60s who have been type 1 diabetics for a while, say that back when I was younger, I had to use these hard needles, these glass syringes. So it's really great that not that our daughter's a type 1 diabetic, but that we're blessed to have such technology nowadays to make it at least a little bit easier.
Yes, it definitely makes it way easier for her. To the point where she obviously knows she's a type 1 diabetic, but there's some times where people don't know she's a type 1 diabetic. They don't see her getting treated most of the time. I'm just in the background, once again, making sure that she is getting treated for everything she's eating.
It's interesting you say that about people not realizing she's a type 1 diabetic, because at Alex's party today, I was talking to one of the moms that volunteer at school, and she's a counselor at one of the public schools, and I mentioned that we have to kind of let the strings go and let her go off to school, which is going to be hard for us this year. And she mentioned, like, when did she become a type 1 diabetic? I didn't see any devices. She must not have had them on at a different party we were at like 2 months ago. And I was like, oh no, they were on. It's like, she wears the Omnipod. It doesn't have a wire. It has a small catheter that just attaches to her, and it just looks like this white little piece of plastic that's sticking on her. And then I told her about the Dexcom, which is about 1 inch by like a half an inch. So it's not big. I'm like, she hides them under her clothes. You would never know she has them on, except for the fact that if it's hot out and she has like short sleeves or shorts on and where it's located. So she was shocked, and she's like, I'm not all for tech. She goes, but that's amazing. Like, your child needs a smartphone at that point. No judgment. Like, that's one reason we should have them. So it was pretty interesting to hear another parent kind of say that they didn't realize she was a type 1 diabetic because she just jumps in and nothing phases her, and that she just eats anything that's in front of her, because I mean, she does at the party. And I told her our whole philosophy, which we've told our audience, she can eat anything she wants. We will not restrict her, I mean, other than what we typically would for a child. It's simply, hey, her pancreas is on the outside, we got this. Yeah, so technology is really evolving, which is exciting to see. I mean, yes, I pray for a cure, but one of the things that we've had recently is that our insurance company has approved the Omnipod 5, which is a closed loop system. So essentially it has this like artificial pancreas technology. So based on whether her sugar is going low, it will adjust how much insulin it gives her or turn it off shortly, or it'll turn it up if she's going high. So it's really cool technology that's coming out. So I'm excited for when we do get the opportunity to try that. And then the Dexcom 7 is coming out, which is supposed to have this capability to go to the Apple Watch, so we no longer have to carry Marcelle's cell phone anymore. She can just wear the watch and we'll be able to see her all the time. So it'll be excited to see what comes in. I would say it's already getting approved, so I'd say in the next 6 months to a year we should be trying that out.
It's definitely one of those things that's exciting because it gives us more options. And I think we're actually waiting for both of them to kind of come out and be approved, right? So this way we don't have to navigate, or maybe we're just waiting for them to almost to be reviewed. I know what everybody's thinking. You go on YouTube and you just watch every single review out there and just make sure that everything works. I guess that's what I'm waiting for.
Well, the Dexcom 7 and the Omnipod 5, I believe, I could be wrong on the Omnipod 5, don't quote me, but Dexcom 7's been out in Europe for over a year now, and apparently it's great. It's smaller, it doesn't take up as much space on her, so I think it's like almost 50% smaller than what she has now. Mm-hmm. But it's supposed to communicate with the Omnipod 5. Okay. So it should be cool. It just, the logistics of the insurance piece that I'm waiting to see, because like right now we get her Omnipod with a 3-month prescription, not subscription. Yeah. And that'd be cool though. Yeah, but right now, because it's so new, they're only giving it in 1-month prescriptions, which is concerning to me because of the supply chain. I'm worried that what if we run out and we can't get it because it's in such high demand. So we're just waiting for that demand to or supply to build up so that we can start at least trying that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for today.
That's it for today, guys. Okay, this is Wake Up Pancreas, episode 4, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. All right. Have a good one. Bye.